Hello and welcome to another episode of Mia Dev Radio. Today we have a special friend of mine, Hosam Kamil, and so as you know that what we discuss in our show is how you can actually go ahead and understand the benefits of the community, what are the challenges, and what we talk about it. So Hosam is with us since I think a decade now, where we do a lot of community stuff together. And Hosam, I'll leave your introduction to you. So
thank you, Hatem. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Hatem, for having me today. My name is Hosam. I'm a developer by heart. I have been, during my whole career, developer, driving technical discussion with developers in general across various topics. Recently, I took the honor to lead a team of a cloud solution architect across the region that are basically specialized on digital and application innovation. Our focus is primarily on helping the customer on adapting all the cloud-related technologies when it comes to the application development and application innovation space. I have a quite really solid team that love working with customers. Their day and night is helping the customers adapt all the greatest stuff that comes with our new wave of application development. Pleasure to be in here. Hatem is a long time friend, and really we enjoy doing a lot of community activities together.
That's great, Hosam. So Hosam, our today's topic is, there are a few challenges in the community, and so my first question to you is, what is the motivation behind people coming to the community, and what are the benefits for them?
Yeah, I think. Long time or the main perception that the people have today is I contribute.
Yes.
So that's basically what drives most of the people says, but I'm the one giving back to the community. And that's, I think, a misperception, because in every interaction that we do with the community, I can bet that you learn more than what you contribute.
Agree.
And that's what I personally have experienced many occasions in many different ways of how we do community activities. But the moment you clear out the perception of I'm the one contributing, and in fact I'm the one learning from the community, you'll have a lot of things that get adjusted automatically. Remember, at the end, the community today is you go and say, I would like to update this article. As a simple one, I will go and say, like, someone has written something on a documentation that need to be updated. The moment you start updating this one, pushing, for example, a pull request or whatever the mechanism of the update, people who are much more expert on the topic that have written this documentation will really start driving a conversation with you. And that's in its own will either validate your learning or help you understand their point of view and their expertise. And that's a win-win situation for everyone.
Yes.
So that's a one common thing that I have experienced for long is I'm contributing because, first of all, I need people to know about how they can make things better. But the bigger value of it is I'm really gaining more value for myself and more learning. And this is what I have a strong belief that this is the biggest value of any communities that we do have today. It's not just around you spending this hour or two or even more. You spend it, you really enrich your skills, enrich your collaboration. You don't know who have wrote this article, from which region, from which team,
Correct.
From where it is. But that's open also a door of networking for you to learn and adapt and really take things for the next step. That's by far one thing that everyone needs to correct first about what we are doing for the community.
Yes.
Because usually that's a misperception that we really contribute and spend our time and effort. But you put your knowledge and your expertise in front of other people to really help you enrich it, or to help you correct a little bit of what you may have misunderstood on one of the topics, for example.
100%. And I agree. I got a new perception of how you look at the community over here. Yeah. So if I connect to that point, what we have seen is one of the challenges in our region where we don't see a lot of people contributing.
Yes.
There should be some gap where, if you see, like in the US, there are so many communities, so many people coming together. So what is missing out here? What should we do to to bring the communities up and forward?
Absolutely. A couple of things, to be honest, in top of my mind is, one, the kind of contributions that we used to do have changed a lot. So once everyone started working from home, and even during the pandemic and so on, the kind of community activities and community gathering is no longer the same as we used to have. So people today relate that community for us means I would have to be physically present. I have to run a community gathering somewhere, and we have to meet, and I have to make the arrangement for this one. We also busy with work and so on. But as of today, I think the contribution to the community coming more in a totally different formats. Today you could contribute online, and that's most what we have seen from a community contribution. You could contribute with an ease. Almost every technology today have its own way of grouping people together, online or offline. So my point number one is contribute, but contribute on your own terms. So no one is forcing you to really go and have a physical gathering. It's the best, and that's what we have always relate what community means to us. Meeting new people, meeting on a specific topic, brainstorming, question and answer, pizza, and that's what we used to really do. But because of the work style, because of the work pressure as well, and because what we are going through, that has changed dramatically. So point number one, don't look into community as I have to be physically present. You could build a community online. You could contribute to community online with an ease. And that's the simplest way that you could get started with a community. The second thing that I personally relate to is you have the pressure of the working hours and so on. And most of us are working professionals, so we do have other priorities and so on. My key takeaway in here is don't look into it like I'm working day night on, let's say, for example, specific technology. I would like to go and contribute to a totally different technology. Start with something that you really know quite well and you feel that it will benefit the community. It's part of what you do in your day and night job.
Yes.
So it becomes easier even for you to write an article, to record a video, to talk to someone, because you have the knowledge, you have the expertise.
Correct.
Just around sharing. And that alone can be step zero towards you doing great stuff and even way more contribution to the community. But not because everyone, for example, would like to contribute to Kubernetes, I need to plug myself in there. It becomes harder for you. It definitely pushes you to a limit where you learn more new stuff and so on. But sometimes it causes some pressure on you that you may not be able to really accommodate. So leverage what you do have as a skills for whatever technology. If you are good at something, contribute in that something and help the community. And from there, you start building up on top of it. Just to bring in an example that I personally have been involved on. I think everyone driving a lot of focus today, even enterprises, on Kubernetes, cloud native, and so on. I just, out of nowhere, in one of the releases for Kubernetes, there was something called shadow application. And this is where they call for people to volunteer to become part of the release team who release Kubernetes for the whole community. So I said, like, look, that's a shadow application. It's like, I'm far away from this. I know Kubernetes, I'm certified Kubernetes and so on, but that should be someone like deep dive on Kubernetes to be part of such a release team. I challenged myself. I said, like, okay, what is the harm? I will just apply for the application and see what type of learning that will come, and people can include or exclude me, up to them. That's Correct. How they open it worldwide. I did, and maybe after the second or third trial, I was part of Kubernetes 1.19 release team, part of the part of the CI signal team, who basically give an indicator and signals around the quality of the release and the blocking issues and so on. And I got accepted. I said like, okay. I don't know what I will be doing, but I started learning from the team more on the Kubernetes side, more on the release cycle, more on what we do. I was part of this one. Definitely, I have not done anything special except for said like I will take this application.
Yeah.
I was part of the release cycle for 119, 120, and I get a bit disconnected, and then I applied again. I was part of the release on 125, if I'm not mistaken. So in all cases, there is a lot of room and opportunities to contribute across. Don't get discouraged, try. And again, there is no harm at all, but that's a good example of, I was really having that perception that they will only accept people with certain profile and certain depth. I know I have certain depths, but not up to this one. But it comes with an ease. And basically, once you have the opportunity, I think it becomes yours to prove your contribution and your learning. And that's become, again, more of a learning opportunity for you rather than really contributing as such. And you could mix and match and you could do both, but will also always have the scale goes one versus other. So you learn more, you're still contributing, but your contribution are not really that much. Or the other way around, you contribute more and then you evolve with something else.
Got it. So actually one of the things which I learned from this conversation is I feel that people are not taking that first step of being the part of that community or taking a step to contribute or be a part of that whatever the program is running. So I think that's a very good learning for us, where anyone who is looking and understanding what the community can give them or help them out or benefit them, I think that would be a good starter for us.
Absolutely.
So coming up to the same point over here, what are some tips and tricks from you which you think we could do in our region, where we could boost our developer communities, we could bring people together the way in whichever channel is possible, either online or meeting in person, stuff like that. So what do you think are good practices or main tips from you which the community can follow?
Absolutely. I think in our community, speaking about Middle East and Africa in general, the lack of localized content is still one of the challenges. So if you look, for example, we used to consume content in English and other language, but there is a lack of content that are localized to our region that help people that are getting started with their journeys, students or whoever that have difficulties in following the content in different languages, to really get into this kind of a community and learning and understanding. Maybe one of the areas that we should focus on is be relevant to the region you are in. If you feel like you don't have to contribute in English, contribute in your own language. You don't have to contribute as I will have to write with the same kind of a depth, with the same kind of a volume of writing, or how the article look like, and so on. The kind of contribution and community that we have seen evolving now is changing dramatically. People are simply using their phones today to record a short video, helping someone understanding what this means.
Correct. What
this topic means. So you already, literally today, you have the power of having a mobile phone to really contribute to the community. Writing a tweet, or open a space and start talking to people about what this topic means. Or even write in your language or record a short video. That kind of content contribution wasn't there before. We usually have to have either official documentation, people blogging, and when they blog, we got amazed with how they blogged, how they articulated, and so on. But believe me, it doesn't have to be perfect from day one.
Correct.
You just need to make sure that it is relevant. It really helps, and get the community to give you their feedback. You don't know what you don't know. So the moment you start taking the first step, even if, I recorded a video, I struggled 100 times, I keep cutting, I keep moving stuff, the video that I recorded for 15 minutes, for example, took me a couple of hours and I have to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Remember that at the end, anything that you'll try for the first time will always take time, will always
100%.
take practice. But later on, you become really professional about it, you know how to do it and so on. Take the first step, contribute on your own term. There's hundreds of communities across. If you go into every country and start looking into communities specific to the area of your interest, Kubernetes, .NET, Cloud, or other, you will find those communities. Plug yourself in and start contributing. If you are not into this one and you need to drive the contribution differently, by all means, do that. Start contributing in your own term.
Yes.
A very short video with your mobile phone even, telling people how to use certain technology, or tips and tricks about something, or let them know about one of the challenges that you faced at work and how you solved it. Believe me, it will help you more than helping them. They will know about the stuff that you have done, which they can mimic this example and start using it to solve their problem. But what will help you better is someone with more knowledge come and say, we had the same issue, we solved it in a different way. And that's typically the learning and let's say the reward and really the value that you will get out of this. Because it is only around the first step. Today, everything become easy. If I need to sit at home contributing and building a community, I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't have to be physically present anymore, having this session, preparing for it, and so on. Take the first step. In Middle East and Africa, I think we have communities across the globe, and you know better than me. And even from a Microsoft perspective, we are keen to really, and we have always been a developer company. Our focus will always be with the developer and technical community. You'll find tons of stuff today that you can contribute to. I always give the people internally and externally a very good example. We usually go to a documentation in our Microsoft documentation page. You find small circles for the people contributed to this article. And you will typically assume for the first minute that those people are the product group or the feature owners from the team and so on. And you start looking to them, those are the people who have the deep dive. I just, again, out of us really putting good example there. Sometimes it is as easy as, I saw an article, it has a wrong link, it has, for example, a wrong description, or it doesn't really fit with what I have tried personally. I go, and I'm a Microsoft employee, but I go as my community, my handler at GitHub. Click on edit, update the article, push a pull request. This pull request goes through the cycle.
Yes.
Get approved, my name appears in there, but I'm not really looking into my name become part of those people. But what I meant is, you contribute to something. Yes. And sometimes you have this direct communication with one of our product group directly.
Correct.
They will come and say, yeah, it is working. However, for example, that's not the best practice behavior. Or you learned something out of just clicking and updating something that already exists. So again, the moral of the story is like, there's too many ways today to start your community and the contribution. Going even randomly to GitHub today, seeing which repositories that are trending or that people are forking and so on, based on your interests. For example, I'm interested on JavaScript, .NET or other. Such even simple activities that you do, open the GitHub homepage, you'll find like, am I missing something? Why people are starting this repositories, for example? Why they are talking about this one? Why there is an active discussion in here about, for example, a certain feature on .NET? That's in its own, again, is a community that really contribute to you directly.
Correct.
And no one prevent you at any time forking, updating, or going and driving a discussion, telling them about what you have experienced personally. So, to be honest, the contribution have been, or the communities have been much more easier since when we started.
Yes.
The effort today for you personally and even for the community become much more easier. The idea is, get started, contribute on your own terms, but really contribute. Because that's the key essence. Once you started, everything else will come around. You either know that this is the right track, no, I don't feel comfortable, but I need to present my own idea in a different way. I may not be able in the first time to let people know who own this repo or own this project that this is an area that they have to focus on. Let me rephrase, let me give my point of view.
Correct.
Such a kind of a discussion, even if you are doing it from home, sitting in your machine, is really building a lot of skills that you will value as you grow as professional, even as of today as professionals. We love to learn from other people who are smarter than us, because this is really how we really grow and how we learn about stuff.
Correct. Actually, from your conversation, I remembered some of my past experiences. So one of them is very critical. It's how I started my community journey. So it was like the similar example. I had an issue at work, and I spent almost 2 days and I couldn't find a solution for it. And I found out that there's a community session happening back, the old auditorium back then. So I said, okay, let me go there. Let me find if there are any experts and ask them this question. And to my surprise, I came. I met with the people, and that's how my community journey started in UAE, and that was first. And about the contribution on the documents, it was a very funny example. So back then, I think in 2017, we were working on CNTK with fast RCNN algorithm to detect objects and stuff, right? And me and one of my colleagues, we were working on one of the Python code. And what happened is, for some reason, it was not executing as per the documentations on docs.learn. And we spent quite a lot of time, and then we said, okay, let's leave the documentation for some time and try it by our own. And we did, and we found there's a small mistake in the documentation, in the part of the code. So what we did is, okay, and that was because, the technology keeps evolving. And there are sometimes what happens is, there are some changes which might break something else, right? And not each part of the documentation is updated according to that. So we got a chance. We did the same thing, logged in through GitHub, asked them to, update this part of the code, because now if someone clones that, they will run into the same issue.
Absolutely.
So this is how, it's different ways of contributing back to the community.
Absolutely.
And a good learning for us, right? That, we know where and what was wrong, why it failed, and we got a good learning from that. So I completely agree to what,
I remember also, like, back then when we used to have, like, physical community gathering and so on, when you know that someone is coming who's, for example, a star in the community or a technical guru and so on, you bring all the questions.
Yes.
So despite the topic of the session, like, okay, we're talking about, for example, app services, Redis, or whatever, Kubernetes, despite you have a problem, you go talk to the guy. And what people doesn't really know that in most cases, those people are going and doing a research and try to really understand how to help you. And that's the value that you contributed to them. You bring in your problem statement to them, and because they are well perceived in the community, this one, they don't, again, they acknowledge that they don't know, but they will work on it and so on. But when they do that, they really learn more, tons of things that they need to learn in order to understand how to really help you on that one.
Correct.
And that's in its own, like, a value for you on how you brought in a challenge to the community, but value for the people who perceived by the community that they are capable to really help others. So whatever you do, the key principle in here is your contribution has to be really genuine, because you need to help people. You need to really help others in general. So keep that genuine contribution as a flag. So at the end, I know that with all the social media kind of hype around being visible and being more of an influencer and so on, but you could do that, but it has to be really genuine interest of helping people, and that's what builds really a genuine community. If you look into any well-established community, you'll find people who are organizing it or who are delivering are really taking a lot of effort and to keep it up and running. They will not do this at all unless they believe that what they are doing is really helpful for the community and it really drives value. And that's the genuine interest that we have to keep in general around really being keen to help people with such a contribution. And don't underestimate any contribution.
Yes.
A contribution is a contribution. Some people are writing code, some people are updating documentation, some people are adjusting a pipeline or a DevOps practices. It is a contribution. It helps makes things better. So don't underestimate any contributions that you do. Start with any amount of time and effort that you could give to the community in the areas that you love, with the simplest stuff that you can do. But believe me, that's the start. It is
Yes.
all around you getting started. Once you are there, I think
It's
all of you will become more of a
correct.
star and more of a community stars as well.
That is a great conversation, Hosam. So I would also share how you can actually go ahead and join the Azure community, and whatever regions you are in right now, you can go ahead and join that local Azure community out there. Thanks a lot, Hosam, for your time today, and
Thank you, Hatem.
I loved our conversation.
Thank you.
I hope everyone gets a good learning about how they're going ahead and contributing more to the community. And don't forget to subscribe our channel and like this video.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot and have a good day. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you all.